What's up, mobile gamers? It's the Dronzer Gigs back with another video. And somebody asked me what my thoughts were on like who's gonna get the biggest leap in terms of play, right? So this is gonna be very much a discussion-based video. I might play a game or two here and there, but I kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts on who's gonna get the most play time after the update, like who's gonna be like the new hero, not necessarily the new meta. Obviously, if we're like, oh, what's the new meta? Okay, boom. Hunter is just absolutely busted. He's going to have a healing ability, so he's going to see play. He's obviously going to be almost a must pick in every mode. However, I would say that his play rate is already really high, similarly to Aletta. So I won't really include them because if you really think about it, it's like who doesn't have a lot of play or does have play, and like how far are they going to jump, right? So one of the first ones I want to talk about is Vincent. So he's getting a skin, and then his second ability allows him to like send a clone forward. So I think that's really going to make him way more playable. He's going to be a lot easier to learn because you're going to be able to take advantage of 5v5 and how hectic it is. And you can send out that clone, which is going to distract them even further. And on top of the gameplay aspect, he's also going to have a skin. I don't remember what it is. I glanced at it with the other creators, but I try not to spoil myself on skins, so I didn't really look at all of them. I know he had one, though. So if you guys have seen Jordy's video, I want to say he goes over it. I actually skipped the skins that he goes over, so I'm not entirely sure who's having skins and who's not, but I know Vincent has one. And then on top of that, he's going to see a lot more play. For his usability is going to go up because of that ability. So I think he's going to see a decent spike, not very much. It's probably the lowest out of the ones I'm going to talk about because you have to spend money to get him in the first place. So most people are going to be playing him if they are content creators or if they have, you know, some extra money to spare. We'll just kind of go up the list. Not really worry about Fade. Labula and Ruby. I'm going to talk about these two. We'll talk about Labula first. He's going to see, I mean, he's going to be crazy, you guys. For his changes, he now can heal people with his shots. So he does the same thing Chemist does. And his second ability puts up like an invincibility field for a few seconds. So like you can still take health away, but once they get to that last 10%, or however much it is, or 10 damage or 10%, I'm not sure which one. But they can't die in the immortality field. You have to wait for it to go away. I'm not sure if you can shoot the top. But anyway, he's already kind of underrated, and a lot of content creators have been noticing this. And on top of that, he's now going to be a support hero and probably the second best support hero in the game. So his play rate is going to skyrocket. I don't think he's going to have a skin. So I'm kind of combining these two categories. One is like, okay, do they have a skin? Is that what they're going to get? So they're going to see a lot more play when the skin comes out, which I'm not going to really count. That's why I think Vincent's going to see a lot of play because of his usability on top of the skin is just going to skyrocket him. Labula is going to see a lot more play because he's underrated, and his new ability is going to be pretty crazy. So I would not be surprised if you see a ton of Labulas. Probably the character that most people are going to pick up that they don't already play. Like, if I was to say Aletta's going to see a big leap in play, it's like, well, most games have an Aletta in them, so that's not very cool of you. But Labula is going to see tons more play. He's going to be crazy good. I'm actually probably going to grind out for this ranked skin because he's that good. Like, this skin's already good, but Labula is going to have a whole nother role, and I think it fits him better as a character. So we're talking about roles here. You have the old tanks here, and I don't think any of these guys are going to see much more play. Maybe Victor because he has a skin, but I'm not going to count that. Like I said, skins don't count. I only mentioned it for Vincent because it also adds to his changes. So you got Vincent, Labula, and you're going to see a lot more play with Ruby. because her new ability is really exactly what she's lacking, and that is consistent mid to far range damage. Close range, she's monstrous. I mean, she's super, super good. But basically, what happens is you die because you put your shield down, they break it before you can get close to them, and your cards don't do anything because you can only hit one card per person when you're far away. And her new ability allows her to close that gap and do damage from mid to long range. And that's what is going to see her skyrocket in terms of, like, as far as the tanks. She's going to go up, and all these guys are pretty much going to stay the same or go down. I would actually argue that all of these guys are going to go down in pick rate except for Ruby. And that's because she's going to get a crazy new ability that fits her kit so well that it fills all of those holes. All the holes that you have with Ruby right now, all the reasons you don't want to play her, are basically going to be mitigated by that change, and also the fact that she's going to be usable in 5v5 as well. So she's going to be crazy good. I think she's going to see a lot more play. And I don't think there's too many others. We're going to see, maybe two more of these guys are going to see more pick rates, a leap in play, if you will. And just looking at them in general, none of these guys have like crazy new abilities except for Sindri and then Shell. Shell is really slept on. We'll talk about her first. She is slept on in terms of playing her versus Aletta. A lot more people play Aletta, but I would actually argue I actually like Shell better. I prefer her playstyle over Aletta's, and she's still a really good flanker even if you include that. She's also got a skin just like Vincent. It seems like the flankers are going to get some skins in the next update. I'm pretty sure it's her. Don't quote me on it because it might be for somebody else, but I saw somebody with a profile picture that looked like Shell, and it was almost like a Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. That's kind of what it looked like. And if Shell gets a super cool skin on top of how good she already is with a new ability, she's going to be busted, because her new ability basically like sends out a shockwave that damages people in a radius. And that little bit of extra damage is exactly what you need as Shell. And it allows you to get use out of her ability when you first go into a fight. So most people, they will use the ability for her to kind of shadow walk, is what it's called. She becomes invisible, right? They'll use that to get into a fight and start fighting. And if you combine those abilities, you also get a boost of damage right at the very beginning of a fight. And on top of having a new skin, she's going to be basically a really well-rounded flanker. And I think that people are going to stop sleeping on her, similarly to how Labula is going to be as a support hero. So I think as far as like which guys are going to see a pick rate that jumps, that really leaps out at you, who are you going to be seeing the most? You're going to be seeing a lot more Sindris. I would say that, when we're talking about this, you don't count Aletta because everybody plays Aletta. Well, a lot of people have been playing Sindri, and I think she's going to be almost a must pick because she's already one of the most busted characters in the game, and she now can heal from 2 points at once, her drone as well as herself. And then she also has an ability that that heals a lot more than before. So those are the heroes that are going to see a big pick rate jump. I think that's 5, right? Sindri, Shell, and then you're going to see Labula, Ruby, Vincent. Those are the top 5 that are going to see a major skyrocket in pick rate. Sindri, I don't think she has a skin coming, but honestly, she's got so many cool skins. She's got the chicken, the police outfit. This is one of my favorites. I love the Mecha Opera skin. She's going to see a huge pick rate because she's changing roles. And that's a huge thing. So in this is the support heroes. You're going to see Sindri and Labula are moved into here, and they're both better than Iris and Chemist. There's no question about it. They are already better characters in general, but now you're giving them healing capabilities. their pick rates are going to skyrocket. They don't even need a skin, and that's what's crazy. Sindri, leap in pick rate. Labula, leap in pick rate. I would say that those two are the ones you're going to see the biggest leap in, and I would say it's going to be more statistically significant, if you will, for Labula, because everybody already knows Sindri's good. Everybody loves her drone. She's already got a bunch of skins, but Labula is the most slept on in this list. If you look at Shell, Sindri, Labula, Ruby, and Vincent. Vincent's not very good. Even with the buff, he's not going to be super crazy. Ruby, even with her buff and an increase in pick rate, she's not going to be the best tank. She still won't be the best tank. I'm just going to say that right now for you guys that are curious. The other tanks are just too crazy. Getting a lot of invites here, obviously, but Sindri, she's already good. She is already good. I don't know. I mean, in terms of like who's going to skyrocket the most, I think going from least to most, right? You're going to see Vincent, Ruby, and then Sindri, Shell, Labula. Shell's going to see a lot of play from her skin and with that new ability, and she's already really good. So I kind of want to say, because it's a skin, it doesn't really count. So maybe you move, if you don't count skins, then you move Shell to third place and Sindri to second and Labula. And honestly, it's because they're changing roles. That's honestly what it is. It's super huge to have a new support hero, and instead of bringing out a new hero that they may have not play tested or something like that and rushing him out, you just move a hero that's already really good and give them a healing ability. It makes sense. I'm not against it. Sindri is a pretty crazy choice, though. She's already really, really good. She might actually be my main once she gets that super crazy new healing ability. Like, she'll be almost unstoppable. She'll be a must pick, especially when second ults come back. I mean, she's going to skyrocket when the second ult comes back, as well as when she moves over to, you know, being a support hero. Labula, he's just slept on, you know. He's really good in some of the higher level lobbies, but like casual players like myself and some of you guys that are watching this video, you're like, what? Labula's good? Like, I thought he was decent, but I didn't think he was crazy. And honestly, Labula is like top 10 heroes easy, and you're going to give him a healing ability, which is going to be crazy. I still think Shell is slept on a decent bit. A lot of people will use her for Crystal Assault, and in the high level, they really like her. So it's kind of like, is she slept on? Well, only in one community. Well, is she getting a skin? Well, yes. So it's like, can you actually count that? Probably not. But you can count Labula for sure, and you can count Sindri for sure. So we'll make this a long video. It's going to be crazy long. We'll jump into a game with Labula. I think that he's going to jump in pick rate a lot more. And considering his pick rate's lower than Sindri's, that's why I'm going to say his leap is going to be the biggest. Because they'll both see a lot more playtime. They're going to be picked a lot more. But I think that Sindri's already really good, and everybody knows that. So we'll hop into a match with good old Labula here. You guys know I'm not very good with him, but I think his pick rate is going to see the most change. Like, maybe Sindri will still be picked more than him, but his change from low to high, he's going to move up more. Because Sindri will get more pick rate, but she's already got a decent pick rate as is. And Labula is going to see the most change because his pick rate is just not... It's not the greatest. It's kind of average, I'd say, probably. I don't actually know what his pick rate percentage is, but it's going to skyrocket because you have a new support hero who's already good, who's slept on because nobody plays him, except like occasionally you'll see some YouTubers playing him. But he also has AoE. He has an ability that makes you invincible. There's really no other ability that does that. Even like right now, there is no ability that does that because you have Iris, who you could say, yeah, she technically does that, but not Not if the person you're firing at is a sniper, right? Because a sniper can still kill somebody in an Iris ultimate because the headshot kills them too fast for the ultimate to heal them. But with Labula, you will genuinely have somebody who can make a character invincible. And that's huge. Because he can more than likely also heal that person. Oh, I didn't even see the Diggy. But he can probably heal the person while they're in the invincibility area. And afterwards as well. So it's going to be huge. You pop the invincibility, you start shooting at him and healing him. And, you know, he already has the ability to heal, sort of, with his tactical. So I would say he kind of is like a... Oh, we're dead. He's kind of like a middle of the ground. Like, he's not a healer technically, but he's also does enough stuff to heal you that he can be considered a healer and not just a damage dealer. So he can do multiple roles, and I think that it's really going to solidify him in terms of being a support hero. I don't really care that we're gonna lose, honestly. It'll just make the game go a little bit faster. I don't want this video to be too crazy long for you guys, but that's who I think is gonna see the largest jump in play. I know that some of those, it's like, okay, well, they're getting a skin. That doesn't count. You know, they already have a high pick rate like Sindri. It doesn't count. So, I think Labula is the safest answer to that question in terms of what is actually changing, because, like, Labula's pick rate will change. You will see a difference in his pick rate. And it's not because of anything other than the fact that his kit's changing with the update. There's no skin, he doesn't have a high pick rate already. It's the one change that is the most, like, quantifiable, I guess you could say. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get the kill on the mark. It's only like, what is it, 4 to... Oh, that was weird. 4 to 13, 5 to 13 now. Which is just... we just suck. Our team's just bad. I know I haven't even been firing at people, really. I've been trying to talk to you guys about, like, who's going to change with their pick rate. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. If you've seen Jordy's video or somebody else's video. Because a lot of these changes are going to be really crazy, and it's going to take a while for things to kind of settle. And I just think that the one that's going to settle the highest, if that makes sense, is going to be Labula. I think he is already really strong, and having a support ability is just... It's going to make him leagues better than he already is. And it's going to make people realize how good he is. Honestly, he's really good. A lot of people don't even realize it. And I think that once he gets that ability and he's in support, then he's going to be where he needs to be as well as a character. So...
Your team is halfway to
oh, did he just stop her ult? I think he might have. Let me know down in the comments who you're going to play of the 5 I said. Are you guys going to pick up Ruby? You know, it'd be really cool for me to be wrong and for Ruby's pick rate to skyrocket. That would be awesome. I think she's a really cool hero, and she is also very slept on as well.
Double kill.
So, I don't think we're going to come back on this. I wasn't paying attention for a long enough time that it's probably going to harm the team. Yeah, the Cosm is dead for sure. Ultimate, I missed. Alright, well, you guys... Oh, she did have her ult. Well, there you go. So, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, who you're going to play. I'm definitely going to be playing Labula a little bit more. But Sindri, dude, Sindri's going to be a main for a while just because I already like her as is. And now she's going to do exactly what I want her to do, which is support. Because I always use her that way and I'm defensive with her. So now I can actually heal the team proactively. So for me personally, Sindri's jumping, Labula's jumping, for sure. Once the shell skin comes out, we'll see if I like it because I don't actually know what it looks like. She'll see a pick rate jump for me personally because I already like playing her, and with a skin I'll be able to make content on her. So those are my main picks for who's gonna jump. I might not play Vincent too much. I don't really like him. He's not very good. But Ruby, Labula, Shell and Sindri are going to be people that I main for sure with these changes. And that's just what I see from the community. You know, you don't see a lot of Shells. You don't see a lot of Labulas or Rubies. You do see a decent amount of Sindris, like I said. So it's kind of like, what do you guys think you should count when you talk about who's going to see a leap? Does the skin count? Does the changes count? Is it like, does it count if they're already at a high pick rate to begin with? Because if you count that, then you could technically say, you know, a Leta Osas Hualing, because people are going to want to try out their changes and they've already got a high pick rate. So for me personally, the criteria is the skin, sort of, like that's kind of the secondary criteria. And the other criteria is how low is their pick rate now and how much is it going to change based on those abilities. And that's why I think Labula is the safest choice for number one, with Sindri and Shell tied for like that second, third area. And then you'll see some more Rubies. And if I had to pick a fifth, it would be Vincent. But the top four is definitely Labula, Sindri, Shell, Ruby. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And you guys have a good one.